You love deeply, fully, and they keep you around just in case?
That's not love. That's convenience, disguised as affection. And now, listen closely.
She never expected rewards. She simply loved. She made breakfast before dawn, endured his silence during his bad moods, searched for warm words for him, even on days she felt like she was falling apart.
She knew he hated small talk in the mornings, so she'd rise quietly, brew coffee, and leave it with a note. "You've got this." It was comfort for him, but emptiness for her.
She skipped girls' nights, ignored her mother's calls, postponed her dreams, just to be there whenever he might need her. But he never once asked what her heart needed.
To him, this was normal. She was always there, smiling, gentle, giving. Not because he was cruel, but because he never thought deeper. Convenient doesn't mean appreciated.
When she was struggling, he'd text, "Stay strong." But when he needed help, she dropped everything to be there. He thought that was love. To her, it was pain disguised as loyalty.
She hoped, silently, that one day he'd notice, that he'd see her. But with each passing day, her faith faded, like warm water dripping through cold fingers.
She longed to be the woman someone cared for, listened to, not the one always saving, always waiting, always quiet. Her love turned into a scream she kept inside.
He praised her to friends. She's so calm, so chill, never nags. But he never hugged her when she came home crying from work.
She didn't yell, didn't argue. She just quietly packed and left. No drama, no speech, just exhaustion from being invisible.
And it was only when she vanished, like the smell of coffee on a quiet morning, that he realized something had broken. His comfort disappeared.
No more morning messages, no more support, no more presence. Only then did he see how much she gave, without ever asking.
Life got dull. What used to annoy him, her over-checking, her endless "how are yous," now felt like silence, emptiness.
She wasn't the sacrificing girl anymore. She became someone who reclaimed her voice. He no longer had control over her silence.
She drew boundaries. She no longer allowed someone to walk into her soul with muddy shoes. She was finally standing with herself.
She painted, traveled, took dance classes, without asking for permission, without fear of being too much.
And there was light in her eyes again. She no longer waited for bedtime texts. She fell asleep with herself, and that was enough.
She finally knew love isn't meant to be a battlefield. It's meant to be mutual, safe, free of shame for being too emotional or too kind.
Now, when someone enters her space, she asks, "Do I feel warm with them?" If the answer is no, she leaves.
Because she learned to love herself the way she once loved him, and in that love, there was no room left for being used.
That was her victory, quiet but powerful, not over him but over the pain she once mistook for love.
She didn't miss his voice. She started hearing her own, and it became the most important voice in her life.
Her world no longer revolved around someone who couldn't hold space. Her world became about truth, depth, reciprocity.
And when someone new came along, she didn't rush to give all of herself. She asked, "Is this real? Or am I giving where there's only silence in return?"
And when the answer was yes, she opened, slowly, bravely, but this time with self-respect.
Because now she knows love isn't about being useful, it's about being valued.
No one gets her now just because they're used to her. She's not a habit. She's a choice.
She once gave herself entirely. Now she kept a part for herself. And in that space, she finally found who she really is.
And now no one can use her again. She no longer tries to earn love. She simply lives. And that's the most beautiful thing that ever happened to her.
She let go, not from apathy, but from love, for herself, because she refuses to love one-sided ever again.
She's alive, strong, aware, and she will never again return to places that broke her spirit.
And you know what? This isn't an escape. This is freedom. She chose herself. And that was the bravest thing she ever did.
He wasn't flashy. He didn't make grand promises, but he was always there, especially in the silence when everyone else disappeared.
He was the first to ask how her day really was. The last to fall asleep, waiting for a simple, "I'm okay." He didn't ask why she cried. He simply held space.
She called him her best friend, her rock, and yet she told him stories of other men, toxic ones, confused ones, but never about them.
He listened, swallowing the ache, pretended it was fine. But secretly, he hoped that one day she'd see he was everything she said she wanted.
He tried harder, kinder, more present. He showed up when she didn't ask. He gave without expectation.
And she got comfortable, nested in his warmth like an old blanket. It wasn't exciting, but it was safe. He was safety, not passion.
He didn't argue, didn't demand. He stayed, even when staying hurt, because losing even this felt unbearable.
And she knew it. She knew she could leave and come back. He'd always forgive, always be there. And that became habit, not love.
And then he stopped. He went silent. No texts, no calls. Not out of revenge, but for healing, for himself. Because he needed love too, just a little.
And that silence hit her like cold air. Something was missing. Not him, but the ease, the warmth, the safety net.
He no longer rushed at her first ping. No more surprise coffee. And most importantly, no guilt for walking away.
She tried to reach back. When others left, she remembered him. But the door, it wasn't locked, just no longer open.
He learned to be alone, to stop confusing his kindness with obligation. And he no longer wanted to be the nice guy who's always there.
Then she came, someone new. She didn't ask what he could offer. She just showed up. No demands, no guilt trips, just presence.
He didn't trust it at first, but day by day he saw this was different. Here there was respect and no need to prove his worth.
He laughed again, not forced, not out of habit, but because joy returned. He didn't have to perform anymore.
He no longer had to earn his place. The person next to him saw his value from day one. No testing, no games.
His love was no longer exhausting. It became calm, mutual, a home. For the first time, not one-sided.
He didn't seek revenge. He didn't settle debts. He just left what wasn't meant for him and chose himself.
And from that moment on, he never again accepted being a backup plan. Love isn't a role, it's a depth, a choice, a mirror.
And now, the one beside him will never confuse his kindness for convenience, because he won't let them.
You are not a placeholder, not a safety net. You are human, and you deserve real, respectful, intentional love.
Drop a comment. Have you ever felt like your kindness was being used? Were you someone's emotional backup?
And subscribe, because here we talk about what's real, about healing, about love that doesn't hurt.